Hi everyone, and welcome to Volunteer New York's tutorial to learn how to create an opportunity. For this tutorial, we're going to learn how to create an opportunity with a date and time specific schedule type. The date and time specific schedule type is best for projects that occur on a particular day at a particular time, while the other schedule type, which is individually scheduled, is best for projects that require communicating with the volunteer before confirming them and determining their schedule. To learn how to create an opportunity for an individually scheduled schedule type, please see our other video. So the first thing you're going to do once you're in the portal is to select the Volunteer Opportunities tab from the menu on the left side of the screen. Once you select the tab, you're going to get to a screen that looks like this. This is where all the volunteer opportunities your organization has ever created are stored. To create a new opportunity, you're going to want to select the Create Volunteer Opportunity button from the corner. After selecting the button, your screen is going to look like this. This is the form to fill out to create the opportunity. You're going to need to enter information into all the fields with the red star. But don't worry because we're going to go through all these fields together. So the first field that you're required to fill in is the opportunity name. This is usually just the title of the volunteer opportunity. And then the next step is to select the schedule type. For this tutorial, we're going to stick with the date and time specific. The date and time specific schedule type is best for projects that need a set number of volunteers on a specific day. So after you've selected the date and time specific schedule type, now you're going to want to enter the registration type that best fits your project. So it might be helpful when thinking of registration type to ask yourself how you want the volunteers to register. Do you want the volunteers to sign up, receive the project details, and show up? If so, you would want to select the sign-up registration type. This is best for day of volunteers, meaning that the volunteer just needs to show up the day of the project and serve the specified hours at the location listed. But an important note about the sign-up registration type is that when a volunteer signs up for an opportunity, they will be automatically confirmed through Volunteer New York's portal, and they will receive a confirmation email from Volunteer New York with the project details. And then they'll be expected to show up the day of the project. But on the other hand, if you would prefer to screen the volunteers before allowing them to serve, then you would want to select the Express Interest registration type. This registration type is best for vetting volunteers before allowing them to serve. An important note to make about the Express Interest registration type is that if volunteers that express interest, they need to be confirmed or declined by the organization in the portal. And if confirmed, then the volunteer is going to receive an email from Volunteer New York with the project details. But if you decline the volunteer, they will not be notified of this decision. The next step is to enter the project description. Volunteer New York will help put together the project description for your opportunity. So this is a space to enter as much information as you can about your project and your expectations of volunteers. Some information you may want to include is the organizational background, an overview or purpose of the role, daily tasks, benefits to the volunteer, any necessary skills or qualifications, if there is any training provided, the ideal time commitment, and the process for applying, which if there is an additional process for applying, maybe like an application or a form to fill out specific to your organization, you would want to include a link to that in the project description on Volunteer New York's portal. Moving on to the next required field, the default opportunity coordinator is auto-filled by the portal system and will link to the person who is creating the opportunity in the portal. Next is the location field. To fill in the location, you're going to click inside the box, which will cause a pop-up to appear on the screen. So now, if you've used this location for a past project, you just need to search for that location either from the list or by searching in the search box. But if this is a new location, you will need to select the Add a Location button. And by selecting this button, it will put Add a Location in the location box of the opportunity form. Then, when you finish completing the opportunity form, the next page is where you're going to enter the new location information. Next, you want to use the drop-down menu to choose the impact area that best fits with your project. Then you'll want to fill in the age requirements for your project. The minimum age box is where you enter the youngest age a person can be to volunteer alone, meaning no adult with them. For the minimum age with an adult section, you want to enter the youngest a person can be to volunteer with a person age 18 or older. If your project is only accepting volunteers who are 18 or older, then enter 18 into that box. And then for the maximum attendance, that is the number of volunteers your project can have at most. The last part to this form is the type section. This section is most commonly left as a project, which could be anything from a park cleanup to stocking a pantry. But in activity, this can be used for training or information sessions. Next, you're going to want to click the Next button. So this part is only applicable if you selected Add a Location for the Location section of the form. For this form, you will only have to fill it out when it is a new location. You'll just want to enter the name of the location and required address information that has a red star. I do want to point out that if your event is virtual, you can change the location type to virtual, and then you will not be required to fill in the address information. And in the Special Directions section, you can include any information that may be particular to the project site. For example, this could be specific parking directions or directions to where you are meeting at the site. So whether you are at the Opportunity form or the New Location form, this is the page you're going to get to after you click to Next. This is the final step to creating the opportunity. So the first question on this form asks if the opportunity occurs on a regular schedule. If your project does not occur on a regular schedule, then you'll want to answer no to this question and then enter the date and time you need volunteers for. If your project has multiple shifts or occurs on multiple days, you can click the Create Additional Occurrences button to add the date and time of those shifts. Then you can click the Create button and Volunteer New York will be notified that you created an opportunity and will review and approve your opportunity and reach out if there is any questions. The last part we're going to go through is if your project does occur on a regular schedule. First, you're going to want to answer yes to the first question, and then you should enter the start date and end date of your project. The start date and end date serve as the period of time you are recruiting volunteers for and the period of time you need volunteers to serve. Then you're going to want to enter the start and end time of the shift. And then this next part, which I think is a pretty cool feature, is that under the recurrence type, you can use the drop-down menu to select daily, weekly, or monthly, which will create occurrence dates or shifts between the start and end dates. That will be either daily, weekly, or monthly. And then the absolute last step, but still super important, is to click the Create button in the corner. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you.